cash came. Broke outside, gritting in the pouring rain. Getting it out the mud like Shrek. Whole onions, packed and wrapped on donkey back. Huh. I want the money, y'all can have the fame. I never stop, just hustle till the cash came.
Stay on my visit to the couch come in. And me and Dara flip them like they tumbling. Man, I want that 5, I want that whole 10. I seen that shit across the border like a Mexican. If we get where I'm from, they call it trafficking. If you don't work, you don't eat. Man, that's common sense. Money on my mind, man, and how to get it. 12 ways to get fame, man, I'm all with it. Shovel in the dirt because I dig hard. My girl like it in that bed because I stay hard. Running through the streets like a dog off the leash. Half man, half a mason, but I'm all beast. Foaming at the mouth when it's time to eat. So we work of the dog when I show my teeth. Foaming at the mouth when it's time to eat. So we work of the dog when I show my teeth. What?
I never stop until the cash came. Off the porch with the torch in a fast lane. I never stop until the cash came. Broke outside, gripped on donkey back. I want the money, y'all can have the fame. I never stop, just hustle till the cash came.
Never cared to me. All my friends with secret TT Don Bob that sent me back to live with mama. Hopped up off the break. I'm focused on my patient. That's when I met my hitter. That Illinois bringing all the noise, nigga. Put me in that blue bomb and told me how to talk. He never touched me. Close your mouth, open your ears. See, you can't have my back unless your mind is clear. I'm sticking to the money that is thick. Survival of a boom, no hesitation. Never made a missing money. I stay loyal to my hustle. Move that man about the way. Can't bring it back that butter. Mississippi, what they call me. Everyone I walk in, terror never stalling. I come out swinging if I'm back against the wall. Yeah, I'm never dime a dozen. I got a point. Going stupid dumb. Too fat on them. That go for my and that go for my too. Never change your soul up. Every day they judging you. Mama wrote the chronicles and that's who I pay homage to. Close your mouth. Open your ears. See, you can't have my back unless your mind is clear. You can't have my back unless your mind is clear. I'm getting to the mind.
Get a Mississippi.
There on me.
Blue Squad's in the house, y'all. This is how we do it, man. We got so much talent in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm telling the truth, baby. Tell the truth Tuesday. We're gonna keep it rolling. I got my girl Martine here. We got one more stuff before we before we take it away. We got Windows, my man Jay Keys. You know, I'll be seeing Keys on Sunday, you know, playing at church.
Okay.
Yeah, he be playing at church, you know, with his keys. He's
right.
I didn't know he actually could play the keys.
Jay Keys.
Jay Keys.
Hey, there you go.
Check it out, this one, y'all. This is Windows. Check this one out. Jay Keys, he actually played the keys at church. Boss with us, y'all. This is how we gonna do it.
Hey, woo! Heart of a lion, hey, soul of a saint, whoa, mind of a god, hey, I'm on a break, whoa, I've been to heaven, hey, I've been to hell, whoa, I've been to prison, hey, but you can't tell, whoa, I had to get it, hey, when I was broke, whoa, 4 mile of feet in the hustle is moving slow, hey, where all my critics is getting it out the mud, hitting, flipping them bricks and then washing the money up, hey, cold peace, so cold, behold heat, I say less than a 4 speak. Me, Ricky, on the freeway for a 4-piece. And if he acting funny at the meetup, then that's more dope for me. Apply the pressure, that ain't enough. Well, foot on the gas and your fingertips on the clutch. I'm driving reckless, I've been on the other side. So letting me enjoy my sunshine. Hey, whoa.
Get out, get that sunshine on, y'all. Get it, Jay Keys. Omaha styling, y'all. We ain't playing today, y'all. Better wake up. I'm crossing over on y'all. Oh, yeah. You better bring it. 24th Street. Oh, yeah. We're in the most historic area of the city of Omaha. Yeah, we got that, y'all. Get them, Keys.
Hey, oh, this is my battle cry. I hope you straddle tight. A peacemaker with my peacemaker on the right. I'm giving last rights ordained by the streets. A gift from God, so you better make peace. Whoa, we pushing product. Hey, we at the door. Whoa, I know we eating, but man, I want some more. Whoa, I'm out the window. I head first. Hey, my life's a blessing, but sometimes it feels cursed. Hey, real talk, man, I talk real, no lies. Tupac ain't the only one, all eyes. They say I keep the same thing I had in 05. A little attitude and cocky for the slow ride. I make your soul glide, I make your soul glow. These niggas so high, I'm flying so low. This ain't the easy road if you wanna get paid. You best to get your pennies and head down the harder way.
Omaha. Oh, y'all riding with me this morning? It's Tell the Truth Tuesday. And you know, since the people are tripping, oh yeah, I'm letting you know we got power, y'all. It's in the Constitution. Check this one out, y'all. My man T-Bone, go get him, man. Go hit him with that bone, T-Bone. Hit him with that bone. Hit him. Oh yeah, we the people, baby. You better participate in the census. You better vote. You know why? Because we the people, y'all. We the Constitution. We still kicking y'all with Omaha style, y'all. Man, I love my neighbors, y'all. Man, I love my neighbors. You love your neighbors, Martine?
I do.
We the people.
We the people that rise. We the people that hustle. We the people that struggle. We the people that fight for it. We the people that work. We the people that hurt. We the people that live. We the people survive. We the people that stand up. We the people that try. We the people that give. We the people that hope. We the people that want peace, but we the people that know. Ain't no peace when police killing in these streets. Ain't no love and it ain't no drug that's gonna change how it be. And at night I hear the shooting cause it wake me out my sleep. Damn, another brother died cause of crooked police. We the people gotta speak, gotta rise up out the seat. Don't nobody really care, a brother die about every week. More killing from your brothers than the police. COP 12 one time and Blue Street. Supposed to protect the peace, but you act like our enemy. Run up on us with your pistols and put us down on our knees. Then you search us, don't find nothing and still don't want us to leave. You start shooting like it's a movie, we figure it's OV. We the people that rise. We the people that hustle. We the people that struggle. We the people that fight for it. We the people that work. We the people that hurt. We the people that live. We the people survive. We the people that stand up. We the people that try. We the people that give. We the people that hope. We the people that want peace, but we the people that know.
We the people they call savages, recreating our images as primitive. Slavery days made it definitive, based on race. What a disgrace. Man, that's ridiculous. It still ain't changing. It's sad to say. We gotta live through this. Living under tyranny, under guise of democracy, where people have a voice, so people living in poverty. Our hoods are still the same, where it's nothing but broken property, and jobs don't pay enough. More money comes from a robbery. Solution is to put us in prison, never to listen. Not understanding the issue, problems nobody fixing. They try and hold us down, and still my brothers uplifted, cause they blind to our struggle, but we got vision. T-Bone.
We the people that rise. We the people that hustle. We the people that struggle. We the people that fight for it. We the people that work. We the people that hurt. We the people that live. We the people survive. We the people that stand up. We the people that try. We the people that give. We the people that hope. We the people that want peace, but we the people that know.
Oh yeah, that's T-Bone, y'all. We are the people. We got to participate in the process, y'all.
That's right.
Without doubt. Today is Tell Truth Tuesday. We're gonna let our artists talk for us. You know, I've been talking all week, y'all. We the people, y'all. I don't know why y'all feel y'all got no power.
Right.
It's part of the Constitution.
That's right.
We the people. I heard they coming out with a documentary on that. Right?
Yeah, that's what Raymond said. Good morning, Omaha, Nebraska. You're tuning into the Boss Morning Show here at 95.7 The Boss. Good morning, good people.
You know what, Martine, if anybody go outside, they get a little darker, you know they black.
Hey.
You know they black. Boss with us, y'all.
On my life, I don't have no real enemies, but I know everybody is not a friend to me. I show my people love, that's why I always get it back. And I stand up for my family, one phone call I will attack. And real recognize real, so I don't see you haters. And I'm not talking about my brothers, I'm talking about these snakes. They smiling in our face, but turning us against
against ourselves, killing all the black kings to keep the queen from getting out. We 40 cal, self-trained, so we don't need the army busting down my door. I wish these martial law try me. We some psychopaths, raised in the projects, and I ain't met a yet who can dodge attack. Hey, cause this the year of the black power. We going all in, man, this shit is ours. Hey, we moving forward, ain't no turning back. The Islanders is born in America, being black. Hey, cause this the year of the black power. We going all in, man, this shit is ours. Hey, we moving forward, ain't no turning back. The odds against us born in America, being black. They call us militant and racist cause we still resist the brainwashing and genocide by this government. My people waking up and now at least we more conscious with plans of unity, but still we must proceed with caution and breaking the cycle of thinking like slaves. Gather up knowledge and nurture your brain to change the situation. Death is what our race is facing. We in a nation where they shoot us first, ask questions later. Black lives mean nothing in their eyes, we just a perpetrator. And marching and holding rallies, that's not doing nothing. We tried it Martin's way and still our people struggling. It's time to educate and elevate from all the hate. Our future generations is at stake. We don't have time to waste. Cause this the year of the black power. We going all in, man, this shit is ours. Hey, we moving forward, ain't no turning back. The odds against us born in America, being black. Hey, cause this the year of the black power. We going all in, man, this shit is ours. Hey, we moving forward, ain't no turning back. The odds against us born in America, being black.
Oh yeah. Get on Sherman.
Black power, black power, black.
Get on Sherman. Oh yeah. Yeah, if you go outside, you get a little dark. Oh yeah, you black. I don't care if you're Caucasian, Mexican, Chinese. I don't care. You black, y'all. So don't be hating on us. Don't hate on your own kind.
That's right.
Y'all, you know what? I'm a legend.
You and me and not the same chick. Bloodline again.
Check that bloodline. What? I'm a king.
I'm a legend. If I die right now, I'm a legend. I'm a legend. You and me and not the same chick. Bloodline again. I'm a king. Yeah, I'm a legend. If I die right now, I'm a legend. I'm like Bruce Lee. When I enter the dragon, girl, I'm like Tech 9. When I enter, I'm like Spike Lee, cause I do the right thing. Boy, I'm like Chief Keef, cause I'm gang. I am just like Malcolm, get it by any means. I am just like Martin Luther, even though I'm a king. I am Huey P. Newton, I'm black, I know I got the power. I am Hannibal Lecter, all these beats I devour. I am Wiz Khalifa, I been smoking back to back. I am just like you,
Blue Squad,
to the bag.
Omaha own.
Just like me, I feel like ain't nobody better. I am just like Flame. What do you know about what I'm a legend? You and me and not the same chick. Bloodline again.
Check that bloodline.
I'm a king. Yeah, I'm a legend.
I'm gonna tell me I was a king.
Right now, I'm a legend. I'm a legend. You and me and not the
Omaha
same
styling,
chick.
y'all.
Bloodline
Tell the truth Tuesday.
I'm a king.
I'm a king.
Yeah, I'm a legend. If I die right now, I'm a legend. Yeah, I'm a legend. Yeah, I'm perfection. How you gonna kill me? Nigga, I'm the weapon. I ain't worried about your killers. I ain't worried about your hitters. I'm worried about money and how we gon' get it. I'm rich, you rich. I'm full of them bags. I'm just like Hawk. I'm known to smash. I crash the beats. I stump the streets. I'm just like August. I'm known for heat. Fresh out the pot. I'm dripping with salt. Key to the whip. I'm known to take off. The squad, the team, we all go off. But I'm totally dancing. Now who's the bomb? You and me and not the same chick. Bloodline again. I'm a king. Yeah, I'm a legend. If I die right now, I'm a legend. I'm a legend. You and me and not the same chick.
bloodline making up. Whoop, okay, I'm a king. Yep, I'm a legend. If I die right now, I'm a legend. I'm a
bloodline, son of the sun. I'm fully melanated. Woo. Black power, fist in the sky. Fully activated, captivate the mass when I speak. Every head bow and digit is glorified king. Oh, precious man child. Blackfoot, color of copper. I came from the dirt. Legendary, mine in the sky. My body's mother earth. Walked through the valley of death and came out a king. Joseph, they ain't cut from my cloth. I saw so many dreams. I'm in a deal with the lions. Now they calling me Daniel. I went to sleep as a passion. I woke up as a pharaoh. No longer will I walk. I'm riding on a camel. Zulu warrior, bow and arrow, eyes on the spirit.
You and me are not the same.
Y'all hear that, y'all?
Okay, I'm a king.
Byron can't mess with us, y'all. Let's stay smart, though.
You and me are not the same. Bloodline making up. Okay, I'm a king.
I'm a king.
Yep, I'm a legend. If I die right now,
oh yeah, y'all. We're legendary, y'all. We're in the 24th and Lake Erie. We're legendary. I got the stats, y'all. Without a doubt, 24th Street Glory Book. It won national awards. Oh yeah, straight for 24th and Lake, y'all. Greatness comes from our community. Oh yeah. They won national awards. The stories of North Omaha, yeah. Oh yeah, we legends, baby. We legends. Oh yeah. You know what? We need some love in the community. LaGheMusic, take us away. Show us how to treat the women, because right now there's a lot of abuse going on. Oh yeah, we're gonna let the artists talk for us this morning, y'all. Talk for us, LaGheMusic. Girl, let's get away from that abuse. LaGheMusic, what's up, baby?
I wanna be the man to get you everything you need. If you ever have a problem, you can call on the me's. Ride on my D's, blow trees in the breeze. You need to be my girl, not your other man's cheese. Baby girl, please, let me get with ya. Your man saw my picture, ripped it up, and then he hit ya. Let me come get ya, and we can go shopping. If he treat you bad, baby, won't you just drop him? I know you can't stop him, but you can get with me though. Just listen to my songs, learn a little about my CeeLo. Your man is a zero, I would treat you better. Just call me when you're ready, baby, we can get together. I write your love letters, I shower you with kisses. Dreams of a house on a hill with my missus. Counting all my riches, feed hors d'oeuvres to my fishes. Candlelight prayers, plus champagne wishes. Can you get away?
Girl, can you get away? Oh yeah. Oh, Missy, help me out, man.
Can you get away? Can you get away?
Claim this love, but I don't. Yeah.
Can you get away? Can you get away?
Get away, 'cause I ain't happy here.
Can you get away? Why you think he love you? If all he do was beat you. He must got you hypnotized. Look at how we treat you. 'Cause if you was my bail, I'd always wish you well. I'm tired of you crying when you call me on my cell. Diamonds and jewels is how you treat a queen. I know that you in hell, close my eyes and hear you scream. I know that it may seem I'm in love with my dreams. I got to keep my hustle just to buy you nice things. Limousines, diamond rings, powder bags and all that. Trips to Jamaica on the beach in your straw hat. I wanna give you all that. Let me be your man. Walking hand in hand, drawing hearts in the sand. Join the caravan of love, baby, 'cause we own it. I know it sounds romantic to your baby girl, don't it? Here's a big red ruby, is that what you wanted? Just smile and think about me, baby. Every time you flaunt it, can you get away?
Claim this love, but I don't.
Can you get away? Can you get away?
Get away, 'cause I ain't happy here.
Can you get away? Can you get away?
Claim this love, but I don't.
Can you get away? Can you get away?
Get away, 'cause I ain't happy here.
Can you get away? Yeah. Go ahead and get away, baby. You know I'ma treat you right. All the things your man ain't gonna do is the things that I'm gonna do. You don't need to stick around with him if he ain't gonna treat you right. Get a real man in your life. You heard? That's me. Can you get away? Can you get away? You need to get away. Come on, get away. Just get away.
Omaha, Nebraska. Oh yeah.
Back when I was young.
Oh yeah. I had a visitor yesterday, y'all. And check this from South Sudan. You know, we had women representing all different communities in Africa. You know, everybody's dealing with oppression. And this young lady, she's from South Sudan. Oh yeah. Riel Kells. You know, she stopped in. A young man. They found a young man in Carter Lake. Oh yeah, they found him in Carter Lake. And, people go through a lot of different stuff.
I am the sun.
Talk to him, Riel.
Shining over you, shining over you. My love makes things grow. You do what I move, you do what I move. I am the stars. Overpowering you, overpowering you. But don't do me wrong, but don't do me wrong. Or I'm coming after you, or I'm coming after you.
Omaha, Nebraska. Oh yeah, Riel Kells from South Sudan, y'all. Remember I told you they found a young man in Carter Lake. Oh yeah, we just talked about it. And people are going through a lot of stuff, and I just want you to remember people. I know y'all putting a lot of emphasis on viruses, but let's put some emphasis on people. We had about like 97% of people surviving. Let's talk about the greatness of God. He's bringing us together. Oh yeah, let's show some love, y'all. Riel Kells. I'm reaching all the way from South Sudan. We need some love over here, girl. Talk to us, baby. Today is Tell the Truth Tuesday.
I am the sun, shining over you, shining over you. My love makes things grow. You do what I move, you do what I move. I am the stars, overpowering you, overpowering you. But don't do me wrong, but don't do me wrong. Or I'm coming after you, or I'm coming after you.
We got our guest coming up at 8 o'clock. He's in the studio. He's here earlier. But since we play some love songs and we need some more love, I'm going to go to my man, Small Town General.
All right, now.
Small Town General. Come on, man. Help us out, man. We need some more love in the community, baby. Show us the way. Show us the way. Small Town General. Bacon's in the house.
Let's have some fun. We only little ones. Relax and enjoy life while we both still young. You should be out here. He wants you boxed up. Wanna control you. Treat you like you locked up. Mama didn't raise you dumb. Mama didn't raise you dumb. Mama didn't raise a bum. Mama didn't raise a bum. You better than that. You smarter than that. You can find real love. Someone that's gonna have your back. Someone who adores you. Who don't ignore you. Who reassures you. Do anything for you. Someone who gon' put you first. Someone who respect your word. Someone who gon' put in work. Be there when your feelings hurt. You need someone who supports you. Someone who can show you everything you can grow to. Not trying to control you. Not trying to hold you back. Trying to see you slack. Who wanna see you win. Who really got your back. So can I get to know you? Can I get to know you?
Right, baby.
What will it take to know you?
Bacon. Help us, Bacon.
I'll do anything for you. So girl, what you wanna do? I ain't trying to make you choose. I just wanna see you win. I don't wanna see you lose. Cause you got potential and meet the credentials. He wanna play games and mess with your mental. I know that you're tired of cheaters and liars. You need you a rider, a real provider. Someone that respects you, never neglects you. Be there to protect you, to hold and caress you. Someone who adores you, who don't ignore you, who reassures you, do anything for you. Someone who gon' put you first, someone who respects your work, someone who gon' put in work, be there when your feelings hurt. You need someone who supports you, someone who can show you everything you can grow to. Not trying to control you, not trying to hold you
cooking this morning, baby.
Trying to see you slack, who wanna see you win, who really got your back. So can I get to know you? Can I get to know you? What will it take to know you? I'll do anything for you.
what's going on. Oh, yeah, from the love.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. This one of y'all, I'm feeling good. You know why?
Yeah.
We're gonna go to our neighbors, the gas station, We got a man in the house, Gorilla X, he's in the house. He actually performed in our first anniversary show about 5 years ago.
5 years ago? Okay.
Yeah, he's all up on him. He's all up there. He know he's up there. So I gotta get his picture. The stars are starting to come in. The stars, the local stars. I got a picture of Riel, I got a picture with Kiera Marche, and I'm a man Gorilla in the house. So we're gonna talk about politics, and I love politics. We're gonna talk about some different theories of what's going on. I like to have different theories of what's going on. Without a doubt. So we're gonna just kind of ride out. Martine, what you got anything going on today?
It is Tell the Truth Tuesday, and I'm just so happy to be here.
Right.
And telling the truth here today. I'm having a wonderful day. I feel good, feel healthy.
Right.
And I want everyone else to feel healthy and go about their day, even if it means staying in the house.
Right.
But if you have to get out, take a drive around the block. It's a little chilly for a walk, maybe later on the day when the temperature raises up just a little bit. But nevertheless, get out, let your mind be free, and check on your loved ones.
Right. Now it's going to be a beautiful day. Like I said, it is sunny. We encourage you to get your vitamin D on, without a doubt. So if you have to go in your front yard, back porch, it's a good day to plant some flowers.
Yeah, some of y'all got big backyards. I can go out there and chill.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Kids out there, let them loose.
Yeah. Like I said, get a jump rope. Puzzles.
And some of them basic old school games we used to do.
Hopscotch.
Yep.
So I got kids next door. How they put the hopscotch. I was gonna try to get in there. I don't know my agility. I don't know. But I remember, you playing jacks. Kids don't play like that.
No, they don't. They on their games is on their mobile devices.
Right. Oh, see, y'all artificial intelligent world. So you gotta get out. I think they forgot how to play.
You think they forgot how to play?
Yeah, they forgot how to play.
Well, the parents need to teach them. Y'all know. Old school games.
No, the kids want to get out. They want to go outside like this at the screen door. Can I go outside? Can I go outside? And the mama said, "No, go in your room and watch TV, or go get your iPad
and leave me alone."
Right.
Y'all know that's what y'all saying. Leave me alone.
Yeah, without a doubt. No, but we do gotta be careful in these days. I see you wearing your Ghana shirt. The kids can walk around there safely. Kids can't walk around here safely all the time because we do got predators living in our midst.
Yeah.
And so we do gotta be conscientious of that also. So let's be safe out there. We're gonna play one more song. We'll get my man Gorilla X all set up. It'll be at the top of our hour, 8 o'clock, and we're gonna just talk about what's going on with the virus, what we should be doing on a different sense. And so we're going to be fair and balanced,
Fair and balanced. Fair and balanced.
Shout out to Fox News. Shout out to Fox News. Hey, sue me, Fox. I wish they would sue me. Sue me, Fox News. We fair and balanced. I said it first. But that'd be national news. 95.7 the Boss in Omaha, Nebraska. Here we go. What we gonna play? Let's play some. We need some love. We need some more love. This morning I feel loved. Oh yeah. Sometimes when you get dissed, sometimes when people, they say, well, I don't want, maybe we need to end this relationship. Maybe sometimes they tell them the truth. You gotta listen to the truth. And it could be better for you. Look, the sun is out again. Oh yeah. So sometimes relationships work out and sometimes they don't. Sometimes we got to agree to disagree that it's not going to work out. And it's best not to, elevate it to another level because, again, I'm going back to domestic violence again because and abuse of our children because You know, I'm a former probation officer. I do this for real. You know, I just can't worry about something that I can't see. I got faith. You know, I mean, that's what Reverend Kelly taught me. I mean, I actually learned that as a kid. I actually tested. You know, I'm mathematical. So I'm a god and you're a goddess.
Yeah.
You know, because you haven't you created a child?
Yeah.
Did you bear children in the past?
I have.
How many children have you bared?
One.
And it came from the abstract and then it grew and now it's teaching the world. Isn't that godlike? That's godlike. I don't so you better manifest your God skills. And right now we're gonna show y'all a little love. My girl Stephanie Boyd. You know, she's from Omaha. You know, we play the guys. We're gonna not the women of Omaha. This one is called I Feel Love, and today is Tell the Truth Tuesday. We want you guys to feel love. You have to feel love. If you're not feeling love, oh yeah, seek and you shall find. Boss with us this morning.
Love me, hold me tonight. Heart rate racing on high. Ooh. When I wake up in the morning, you're all I see. When you hold your arms around me, I feel complete. You love me and you love me. I feel love. Do you understand? I feel love over and over again. Lately, things been alright. Oh yeah, Sandy, probably 'cause of our fight. Oh yeah, and I can't ignore the fact that you're all mine. Oh yeah. And I plan to spend the rest of our lives. You love me and you love me. I feel love. That you understand? I feel love over and over again. Heart rate racing on high. Andy, love me, hold me tonight. When you hold your arms around me, I feel complete. When I wake up in the morning, you're all I see. When you love me and you love me, I feel love. Don't you understand? I feel love over and over again.
Omaha, Nebraska. That was Stephanie Boyd. Yeah, that was Stephanie Boy, y'all. Omaha own. Like I told you, we got greatness in our community. We have greatness in our community. And like I said, I truly love bragging off our community, man. I truly do. I truly do, because these are the ethics that I learned growing up at Hilltop Projects. We actually loved our neighbors. We fed our neighbors. We actually chastised our neighbors if they was mischievous. And it's all for love. Yeah, without a doubt. It's all out of love, because we knew as neighbors we need to depend on each other. And it's getting back to that. I know some of y'all gonna be nice. Just tell the truth Tuesday. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna stay nice. Martine, she's right behind me. She got the karate mask on this morning. Yeah, like Mortal Kombat. Yeah. That's what I doubt. Okay. Hey, sometimes you got to recognize your environment. You know what I mean? She got the Mortal Kombat, so she's ready to come back today. Oh yeah,
Combat Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's right.
Either you tell the truth or you're gonna get combated.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. That's why it's here.
Roll down and bat it.
We're not gonna participate in the ignorance, without a doubt. Yeah. I got in the house, y'all. You know how these stars are. They got their own noun, verbs, adjectives, prepositional phrases, all yes and predicates. To introduce himself, this brother, all you come from South Omaha. I'm bought in South Omaha. That's actually where I made my name in South Omaha, Martine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I grew up in North Omaha, but I chose to go. Well, actually, my first seated job was at Woodson Center.
Okay.
Which is right behind Laferne Williams Center, which is called today. Now Woodson Center is, I think it's Victory Boxing. Is Victory Boxing still over there?
I think so. I haven't been over there in a long time, but it's funny that you brought that up. But not to put anybody in an awkward position.
Correct.
I don't no longer live downtown or in South Omaha. I do reside elsewhere. The Illuminati don't need to know that.
Right.
But on that, with the boxing thing, it's funny that you brought that up, because I was just thinking about it before I came over here, because me and my boys always follow boxing. Been following it for a long time. When I was a little bit younger and stuff, I fought down in Orlando, Florida, for a former heavyweight champion who fought Mike Tyson named Pinklin Thomas.
Oh yeah, Pinklin, yeah.
Pinklin had his own boxing organization or boxing club called the Pinklin Thomas Boxing Foundation in Orlando, and so I fought under his wing over there. And there was another female boxer down there named Christy Martin. She was a very sensational boxer during that time.
Okay,
and then when I left there, I came to Nebraska. I've been like all over the place. Came to Nebraska, and I fought under the wing of Coach Midge and Carl Washington downtown. And that's when I met a few of the guys on the team. And that's when I was coming up, Grover Wiley, they call him the Papio Punisher back then. He was fighting. And then I saw the one and only Little Terrence Crawford. He ain't little no more.
No, by no means.
He's killing it, man. Yeah, but not to shy away from what you were talking about, but
man, those are all great memories, because I got footage of Terrence when he's like a teenager. That's a film.
Yeah,
it's a film a lot. So I gotta find those archives, because man, that's like you said, that's history in the making.
Yeah,
it's history in the making. So why don't you let people know who you are?
All righty, I'm Gorilla X. People are like, huh? What? Who?
Right here, right.
So anyways, make a long story short, I'm a revolutionary hip-hop artist here based out of Omaha. A lot of people have been trying to figure out who I am, what I am, and all this stuff. So I'm just going to let the cat out the bag.
Okay. Yeah.
Originally from New York, Puerto Rican. Puerto Rico.
Shout out to Puerto Rico.
I got flavor down there.
Yeah, that's
of course,
right.
Our genetic makeup of Taino natives and African descent. So we all know how that goes down.
Right.
I got into the game. I guess you could say I just kind of like knitted my way in like a spider with a web, trying to build this web. And I think growing up because I was born in '73, so in the late '70s is when I got an ear for James Brown and Isaac Hayes, Barry White. My father used to play a lot of great music from a lot of the archives that we all go back and listen to and stuff, and kind of chill with and stuff like that. But it wasn't until like when the Sugar Hill Gang came out, and they came out with a sensational song that just came up on the radio, and everybody was like, oh man. So then the 80s, it came around. I was like, man, Grandmaster Melly Mel. And the thing about hip hop culture that turned me on about it was that no other genre was doing, was that they were speaking from an angle that was not being addressed on record, and that was the struggle that was going on in the Black community, and a lot of things going on in the Latino community. And so, with that being said, I'll never forget, he had this song called "Step Off" that was like the thing that turned me on. And then when LL Cool J and Run DMC, Curtis Blow, won't talk about the other cat from the Zulu Nation. We know what's up with that, but
right,
a lot of these guys, they paved the way for other artists who came around later on. But I think the thing that did it for me was when I started getting into the political arena was when Public Enemy came out. And I remember their first album, I think it was it Yo Bum Rush the Show? I might be mistaken, but excuse me, but it was the album that came out was called "It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back." And Chuck D was very profound, very strong, and very open with a lot of the things that was going on. Very political, but for me, it wasn't enough, and so I started writing on my own to want to become an artist. But when you start off as an artist, your delivery, your cadence, your style is, not on point. So you got to try to discover and figure out where you fit in, what's your style and stuff like that.
Okay.
How do you develop yourself? And then later on, you worry about the branding and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it took a combination of Public Enemy and one other artist who always sticks out in my mind the most is Paris from Gorilla Funk Records.
Okay, yeah, Paris.
That brother, man, he could spit some fire. I'm not talking like fire, like fast, like Twista and minus the infamous. I know you out there in Texas watching. What's up, brother man? But man, he speak the real on police brutality. When he dropped his album off of Tommy Boy Records, I think it was a record called Bush Killer. And of course, the White House got word about this, and they heard it, and so the record label was pushed to get him off the label. So eventually, they took that album out the stores, and he was off the label. So he went independent from that point on and started Gorilla Funk Records. And it was the motivation that drove me to be inspired by wanting to find my own niche in the game. But the 90s was kind of, I want to say, a category of what the media labeled as gangster rap, and I thought to me was reality rap, street rap, because Tupac and WA, and they were speaking on things that needed to be addressed that are still relevant today. Of course, they're not really displaying it now because everything's being flooded with the Corona BS. But we'll talk about that in a minute, because that's going to be a little different story. Kind of get winded here, just going on and stuff, but I wanted to get everything wrapped up in a bunch so everybody knows what I'm talking about, who I am and whatnot, where I came from, how I got into the whole thing.
Right.
So my family's from New York and everything. We came out here and stuff. I won't get into the particulars about that, but shout out to my mom, love you, Ma, and Delita. If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing now, and the things I'm gonna do that she doesn't really agree, but it's okay. It's like you said earlier, sometimes we gotta agree to disagree. I do know this though. sometimes if you really think about the artists who are rap artists who can only rap and not sing, if rap, hip hop culture did not exist, what platform would we be able to use to justify some of the things that needed to be said on record? And for the brothers who do spit the knowledge and the kind of insight that needs to be said, so like Pac said, you got to spark the minds of those who would change the world. You have to be able to bring substance to the game. It's cool to talk about, man, the booty dancing stuff and up in the club and everything like that. I love that. I got nothing against that. I got nothing against anybody where they want to brag about their bling and stuff like that. You know, what I'm saying is that if you're not doing nothing to support the culture to keep it going and continuing from the origin and the root of the real reason and the purpose behind what the culture really stands for and what it is, then to me, in my opinion, you need to either change your vision or you need to do some research, because you can't just jump in the game and initiate yourself and be like, yo, bam, I'm here, and then mumble some junk that nobody can understand. Mumble rappers.
Now, is it because I've been around. You mentioned some, some historic artists. BDP as well as PE. Transition.
Oh yeah, KRS-One.
Transition. My thought. I really stopped studying Christianity.
Yeah.
When I heard Public Enemy and Public Enemy put Malcolm X words. And I was born here. I mean, I was raised here, but I didn't know Malcolm X was even popping until the brothers out east started putting Malcolm X speeches in the music. And so I said, damn, he's from Omaha, and I didn't know about it. They didn't teach it in high school. They didn't teach it in elementary school. They teach it in middle school. Yeah. For real. So I kind of yield from Christianity.
Yeah.
And I started listening to Malcolm, Farrakhan. I'm a Million Man Marcher, without a doubt. I went to the Million Man March, 1995. I'm a different type of man. I'm not like a regular man. For real. I met God for real.
There's a reason why your last name's King.
Yeah. So that journey is significant, as growth. Now, that music led me to more of a revolutionary, evolutionary point in life.
Yes.
Because now it opened my eyes up to different knowledge, and I wanted to learn myself. So I did a lot of self-reading.
Yes.
I didn't go by their books anymore. I started reading my own books because I wanted to attain my own knowledge.
Yes.
So is that the same kind of transition that you went through? Was there certain points that, well, dang it, no, it might be a different way?
Well, I think in a sense that if you're somebody who, I'll give you an example. There's a friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name because he asked me not to mention it and stuff like that. But he's been going through a lot of struggle and stuff like that. And we don't really touch bases as much as we used to. But the fact that we had a very verbal, high-heated disagreement when it came to political parties and police brutality, because he has a family member that is in police uniform. And the thing is that when I was tackling an issue a few years ago, and I noticed that the numbers started dwindling with Black folks and then the deporting of Latinos, I was like, there's something wrong with the makeup of this country. You can't call this country the greatest country in the world if you turn on your television and you see Rodney King getting beat to death almost.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
And you look at history, history does have a lot of violence in it. But the fact that when you dress something up, like when the devil wears a red dress, you don't know what the agenda is until they've got you in bed. And next thing you know, you're sleeping with the enemy. When I came up with the name Gorilla X, I knew that I was taken from something that I felt that I was born from the cloth of Malcolm X, not a direct descendant of X, but because of the name, what it stood for when he took on that name, the X could represent many things.
Right.
A lot of people will have their own input on how they feel about it. So when I took on the name gorilla, but a lot of people misspelled it. They were spelling it in a sense like, the animal version of gorilla,
right.
But it's more guerrilla warfare in that sense. And so a lot of people that turned me on was Che Guevara from Cuba, and his take on America and the imperialism of this shadow government, the deep state, and what have you. But the buck doesn't really stop there, because with a lot of these things that came about, it was a lot of things that I started doing research on, and I had to find out what my footing was, because what does it mean to be a revolutionary artist? What does it mean to be a reality rap artist? How long does it take to get your point across? And are you making a point that somebody's going to be bumping that music as much as they bump a booty song music? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you could put on a Wu-Tang Clan record or an LL Cool J record or Twista or whoever is out there, and you could bump that for hours on end. And what I found to be different was, like, with Dead Prez, Paris, Public Enemy, and versus some of the radio artists that you see on and hear on radio nowadays. There's really no correlation there, except that somebody can put a word at the end of every bar and rhyme. But if you have no substance, if there's no sense of direction, then you have no guidance and no purpose of where you're going with it. What's the end game? You see the beginning. See, here's the problem with people, with artists coming in the game. When I came in the game, I was like, oh man, I'll make me a LL Cool J record. And this was coming up in the 80s and stuff, because it was just something cool to dance to, something to look flashy, wear a gold chain, the Kango hat and everything like that, wear my Adidas and all that, like my Run DMC. The 90s came. Then everybody got all gangster because NWA. And Tupac, was popping. And so everybody was wearing the bandanas and everything backwards. The next thing you know, Pac disappeared off the map. He ain't dead. And the other thing is, as soon as the millennial years came around, then the music started changing. And that's a different, topic that we can discuss later on, but that's with the industry. But when I started seeing the format change, I was holding on to something that I was ready to, pop on the scene myself. And I started seeing it disappear. And I was like, man, the moment I'm trying to get my foot in the door, trying to get my name out there, get my music out there, that part of that political arena is starting to disappear. I'm like, what is going on? The industry was changing it because they noticed that it was a problem with reality rappers spitting on things that they didn't want to be out there. And why was that? So if you look and do your research on the industry, who's in control of Hollywood and the music industry? A lot of these companies don't know that they work with these creative agencies that are in bed with the CIA departments. And the CIA has a lot of different departments. And mind you, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say any names, and I promise I won't say any names, not to get anybody, in a very different situation. But a couple years ago, my wife and I had a dinner with a CIA agent and his wife, who was an FBI agent. And this guy was just, ranting and raving. And it was about a problem with a family member that we had. Once that was over, this guy started opening up about things that were going on in Africa, about the Janjaweed and how they were terrorizing people in their villages, women getting raped, men being torched and lit up, right in front of their own families, children being decapitated and stuff like that. And so, like right there, what I just said, nobody wants to hear that on the record. But like, oh, okay, man, brother, you need to stop right there. That's disturbing. Where are you going with this? Where I'm going with it is that it all ties in with the very country that you hold so dearly and put your heart over and salute. But at what point are you going to wake up and realize that someday might come over here? Oh, wait, it's already here. It's just It's not happening here. It's just happening below the radar. If Halloween came around the corner, for example, and I said, Mr. King, let's you and I go trick-or-treating tonight. What you want to be? King be like, no, I'm going to go as a revolutionary artist. I'm going to go as Gorilla X. I'm like, all right. I'm going to go as Mark Furman, one of them corrupt police cops from the 90s. Y'all remember that? And he'd be like, well, why would you want to do that? I don't know. Looks like a cool, flashy uniform. That's cool. But if you don't know the history behind the police department and the stuff that they've done, that's a problem. Because you might set yourself up for failure. You walk up to a door to a person who is opposed to cops because he himself has dealt with corrupt cops. Now, I put myself in a position that I'm vulnerable and now I get blasted. And now I'm just using this as an analogy to make a point. And the point is this. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a police uniform or not. It matters of what kind of person is behind that uniform, because not all cops are bad.
Right. It's by integrity.
Exactly. And the thing is that I think what it is that there's so many different uniforms that we all wear. If you were to strip everybody naked on this planet and took all their clothes off, and you'd be like, I wonder what that guy does. I wonder what she does. I wonder what they do for a living. You wouldn't know nothing. It'd be just like back in the beginning, Adam and Eve, and everybody was naked. You put on a few leaves. Now you're starting to clothe yourself. Next thing you know, somebody knows how to knit, put things together, work with the cotton and everything like that. Now one's wearing red, the other one's wearing blue. And now they're blasting each other like the Bloods and the Crips, like the Republicans and the Democrats. Why is there such a great divide? Why is music so divided? Why is our music being ousted and targeted all the time? Why is our music and our genre the only one where you see hip hop cops always arresting and trying to criminalize rappers who've done nothing? Because they spoke the truth on record about something and now you want to criminalize it? See, they're going to do the same thing in the future with hip hop, what China's already done right now. They're going to try and get rid of it. They're trying to get rid of everybody's weapons. Once they sell the Constitution to the UN, it's over. Y'all talk about, a long time ago before, and I'm not saying y'all, indirect. They used to say, the revolution would not be televised, but it's being televised right now.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is now that it's being televised, you got your YouTube, you got your cable network and stuff like that. The problem is that who's controlling what can be put out there and what cannot. And what I've learned is that if you say anything on record, there's algorithms to pick up on certain things that YouTube and Google don't want you to hear and watch and listen, because then you'll be unplugged from the matrix and be woke.
So now, Snowden.
Yeah.
Do you read any of his material? Because his warning is that they're going to use the coronavirus for greater surveillance of citizens.
Right. So now here's the thing that a lot of people don't know about, and this is known to be true, because whether you follow the Bible or not, the good book, and I'm just gonna briefly say something, and I'll get to my point with what we're talking about with the corona thing. Is that this? There are a lot of religions out there with the good book, but I have been able to sit down and take each of the books from different religions, and I was able to cross-reference certain things. I'm like, okay, that matches up, that matches up, that matches up, that lines up. So it must be true. But the minute you start working with other areas of that book, you start to question, why is this not in this one and this one's not in this one? Maybe it's not so true. That's something that's very suspect, so you got to question it. So you start digging deeper. And everything that goes with that whole makeup of the book is that when you look at it, and I'm no disrespect or I'm not trying to dismiss God or anything like that, but where in the beginning of the good book or at the end does it say written by God? It says written by so-and-so. There's who the hell is King James?
Well,
does anybody know the history about that?
Well, I know for a fact it was written by Shakespeare.
Okay, so
I read. So, and that's why I mean, once you get knowledge, it's hard to go back to ignorance.
Yeah.
And so I found out who wrote the book. King James commissioned Shakespeare to write the Bible. King James was the man. Shakespeare was the highest, I mean, the most respected literary artist of their time, as he's still talked about. There's area in the Bible that Shakespeare actually wrote his name. He put it in codes.
Yeah.
I forget what area of the Bible. I had to bring my homeboy. We're bringing in a minister from the Nation of Islam Friday.
Okay.
And so we're gonna touch on that also.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shakespeare wrote the Bible, y'all. 1611. Check it out. Read your history.
He trying to shake y'all. You know, on that point with the whole Shakespeare thing, you know, I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I know I'll get criticized with what I'm going to say right now, and it's nothing against non-white people, but the fact that if you look at history, why is it that the devil is trying to pit one race against the other? Why is it that he's trying to pit one gender against the other, or try to make a man who is masculine to be feminine, or vice versa, take a feminine woman to be masculine? You know, we got to look at the bigger picture here, and everybody, you know, is getting normalized. So if you introduce a little bit of bad,
right,
you know, let's normalize it.
Right, I agree with you. And you know,
and eventually it'll get out of control because, but let me just say this, because since we talk about religion, and I like to talk about religion, you know, because I like to beat pastors up. Yeah.
But Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, they're the only three religions on earth that teach about a devil. The Hindus and what's the other ones? The Hindus and
with the Shiva and
Hindus and what's called. They don't teach about the devil.
Yeah.
In their teaching, they don't teach about the devil. They teach about that we have negative. It's always based on the person.
Yeah.
They don't have no in between. They don't say Jesus died for us so we can get away with our sins.
Yeah.
No, it's total responsibility.
Yeah.
We take total. Ain't no purgatory. None of that. In their religion, if you do something, you take total responsibility.
Because that's one thing you can't get away with your mama, because he was like, "Why'd you do that, boy?" I'm like, "The devil made me do it." Well, I'm gonna kick the devil out your Now the devil, is he gone? I don't know, mama. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to give you another piece of this flip flop in your. I wish we could cuss on this thing, but I saw on him sometimes. You know what I wanted to say was that Malcolm X, when we were talking earlier in kind of you know, a lot of things that Malcolm X says so relevant
to today.
Yeah. It's never he'll never get old, he'll never die out, because everything he's always spoken about way back then is still relevant today. They knew that he was a different type of person that they're dealing with, and they couldn't control him.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point that they could control other world leaders like Jesse Jackson, sellout. And sorry if anybody follows Jesse.
No, he sold his own stuff out.
So. But the thing is this: Malcolm X even said one time about the coffee scenario, the analogy. You hear about that? Too black, too strong.
Uh-huh.
So why is that? Why is that? Anybody know about that? Too black, too strong? I'm about to say right now. Okay, here we go. The coffee. Too black, too strong. If you put a little cream in it, it gets a little weak. Huh. What was X talking about, y'all? Now, I'm not trying to attack anybody that's all non-white category. What I'm saying is that there's some people in that category, elitists, people who follow a certain figure, a spiritual figure, that's God's enemy. Now, we all know if you follow Revelations, everything that is said in there is happening already.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to do that, you have to eliminate the many, so that when the time of war comes, it's a lot easier for the weaker God to try to take out the greater one, because he knows his time is coming. But what he's trying to do, he's trying to rewrite history. He's trying to do what happened in that Polaroid in Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox was holding that photograph and he saw his brother disappearing. Why my brother disappearing? I said, oh man, something we did wrong. We got to go back and change it. I said, all right. Well, Pac even said it back in 96. You know, maybe it was a little bit before that, but he said, I might not change the mind if that changes the world. I guarantee I'll spark the mind that will. I agree with that, but even to add on to that, maybe it was just one mind. Maybe it was the one mind of a whole body of his people, the minds of the many. Because it's gonna take more than one person. We had a bunch of Malcolm X's. We have a bunch of Tupacs nowadays. But the problem to me, what's going on is that you don't have what you used to have back in the 60s, which is people. You don't see people on the street anymore. Their revolution is on Twitter. Oh man, we're gonna protest. I'm boycotting you right now. Hashtag boycott. There, I did it. You got to get your behind out. Get them picket signs, man.
You know,
storm that front door of the White House.
You know, everything is artificial intelligence.
So you think that's connection with young people, though? They're just not connected to what we did or our parents did.
Well, you know what?
In the past,
to me, I think what it is that when you have an older generation, like I come from Generation X,
Gorilla X from Generation X. All right, now.
So, you know, of course, you know, my parents from the baby boomers, and then you know, below me, you had Generation Y, Z. The zombie nation is what some people were calling it, the zombie. But I don't really entirely believe in that. But what I believe is that if you try to dummy down a lot of things and unplug people from the reality rappers, and then like the industry, you introduce mumble rappers and you introduce this lazy stuff, then it's like you're brainwashing people, because the more you replay that stuff on repeat, it's like when you're a parent, you tell your child, don't go in there again. I told you, stay out of the garage. I got dangerous tools in there. All right, Dad. He walks in there again. Here we go. How many times I got to keep telling you? You got to tell him as many times as it's going to take until he don't walk in there. Or it's going to take him to get hurt so he understands, don't go in there again. But the problem is this. There's a lot of problems. If people would unplug from the matrix for just a little bit, and I mean the matrix as in social media, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, I don't care who you favor or what party you belong to, you need to unplug. Whatever happened to walking outside and playing curveball, hopscotch, scully, jump rope, whatever happened to going out in the backyard and play a little bit of t-ball, volleyball, soccer, whatever happened to going to the lake, going for a walk. You don't see nobody out on the street anymore. And to make it even more so is that now you got all these so-called hot video games. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm guilty of this too. Fortnite. They made it so unique and powerful for people that you think that you've been on there for 20 and 30 minutes and then 8 hours go by.
Wow.
By the time you get off, your eyes look like a raccoon.
Right. And parents are having problems.
It's
with
addicting.
That because it's addicting, and then the parents got to pay money in order to get to different levels or get different weapons or different stuff. So, you know, I'm from the Atari days. You know, one joystick,
ColecoVision.
One joy. Now y'all got that stuff too, man. Come on, man.
Remember, we used to blow in the cartridge to get the dust.
Yeah.
Clean it
the
out.
stick of the button.
Yeah.
Now they got all these buttons. Like what?
Yeah, too many buttons. I have one button and a joystick. That's working. So yeah, man. Well, you know, it's when we talk about artificial intelligence. Zuckerberg's sister came here a few years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and she talked about there's a couple of things to invest in. She talked about drones. Drones is on another level, and she talked about AI, which is artificial intelligence, and that's what you're basically talking about, because everybody is actually being artificially assimilated with information on a constant basis.
Yes,
and when that happens, the mind it's like repetition, like how we learn. We dribble a basketball, then we come back and dribble. Each day you're gonna get better. Each day you're gonna get better. It's just like when we get information or propaganda. Eventually, it might be a lie, but if they could continue to tell it, it becomes the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you understand that dynamics is important to make sure that we get information from different sources,
exactly
like you talked about, to see if they do match up.
Yes.
Now, what should the average person be watching for? Because we got people saying the coronavirus is okay. You got other people saying that the coronavirus is a setup for a martial law, or it's a setup for the one world rule. It's a setup for on this side, because when we talk about life, there's always a median of everything. Every decision is always a median. People gonna be on this side, people gonna be on this side. So what's your opinion? Because we got people, the scientists over here, and some people say the deep state is over here, and so it's a conspiracy. What's your opinion? Because like you say, some people have privy to CIA family members or associates. I got connections, and so I'm privy to different information that other people aren't privy to, and that's just the way life is.
Right. Well, here's the thing. There's so many things I could say about this. There's so many things to speak about it. So I'm gonna try to mash it all in one. And the thing is that you either choose to not do nothing about it and be comfortable at home, sitting and just listening and watching your TV, and then you pray that God is going to show up like a thief in the night or whatever. But here's the thing. That's the problem. The problem is that when we got an AI in development, it's been in development since the 50s or whatever. I could be wrong about that. Might be even earlier. That they're setting this country up for its complete downfall. And what I'm saying is this. You see the police brutality on the street. So the cops have been killing a lot of black folks. But the problem is that a lot of black folks who have survived or have died at the hands of police officers, those families have been able to file a lawsuit against the police department. Now it's costing, there's a debt building up there. Who's fronting the money on that? Is it the taxpayer? Is it the actual police department? Mm-hmm. Who's fronting the money to pay the cost of the family? And
actually taxpayers.
Okay, so check this out. Here's what's really sad. You get to a point where somebody speaks on it, you get too many cameras, you get too many people, then censorship starts kicking in again. But not only that, but while they're killing off black folks, deporting people, they're developing such weapons like drones that are armed with weaponry guns on these actual drones. So now that when they're looking for a target for fun and they want to depopulate because their commander in chief or whoever is in charge is giving out the order, they'll go right in the hood because they don't have to send cops no more. So and so is on 84th and blah blah blah. All right, don't worry, we got this. They just be sitting like where we're at right now on a little video, like Fortnite.
You talking far like drone technology?
Drone technology. Yeah, I've seen it already. I've seen how they've already used it, and now what's even worse is that they even got now these. I can't remember the name of the weapon, but it was a weapon that looked like a straight replicate from one of these alien movies, and what it does is shoots out these low frequency waves. And let's say, I find. Let's pretend that I'm the Illuminati. I'm the elite, and I always like to talk to reality. Because so now the Illuminati. So for people, if people don't know, what's your definition? Then I'll give my definition of the Illuminati. My definition of the Illuminati. I know people will be like, "Oh, it's just a bunch of people with masks on and parading and doing these little." My version of the Illuminati is the cabal, and that's a variety of world. Billionaire leaders that you do not see on social media. Who do you see on social media all the time? You see Donald Trump, and before him, you saw Barack Obama. But who's pulling the strings behind them? It's the Wizard of Oz. It's George Soros. It's Bill Gates. He's probably the number one guy. And what happened to all these CEOs in charge in the last 6 months? Actually, since June, over 1,300 CEOs all resigned. And every single one of those CEOs has a bomb bunker, $1 million bomb bunker, a bombshell bunker. I mean, come on. You know, what's the plan? We know what the plan is. It's right there in Revelations. They're gonna try. So here's the thing: there's a lot of doctors coming out with this whole coronavirus thing, and a lot of people, a lot of some of the scientists have become whistleblowers on this whole COVID-19 thing. And people are like, "Oh, COVID-19," you know, not to shy away from the whole AI thing, because
and actually, doctors are the original doctor did he die or get killed or something?
It was a female. She, you know, everybody knows what happened. It's like the whole Epstein thing, or Anthony Bourdain. Kurt Cobain, you know, CIA can do certain things, but there's another agency based out in Maryland, and they have a very, let me just say this: if you drive long enough past a company that it's not appealing to you, and it just says Plumbing Incorporated, and you never walked in there before, it's probably because it's not a Plumbing Incorporated company. It's a company that's made up of assassins to be sent out to do other things. The moment somebody's speaking too much, bullet to the head, like Rage Against the Machine said. All this, you know, people. Here's the thing: a lot of people will listen to me and be like, "Oh, I disagree with that brother, man. He don't know what he's talking about. He's talking that nonsense." Now, the people that are saying that, those are the sheep. I'm sorry to say, but y'all the sheep. Y'all need to unplug and wake up, and I'm going to tell you why. And this is real. Did Malcolm X and Martin Luther King die for nothing? Did they speak about something that was real? Were the blacks not being hugged on the tree and chained and torched? Were the slave owners, the masters, did they not make the sons sleep with their mamas to breed more black folks, more slaves, so they could save on the cost of buying slaves abroad? Tell me that's not real. You know, here's the thing. A lot of people tell me like, "Oh, X, you know, I don't know if you should be talking about that, man. You know, it's a little, you know, it's a sensitive topic, it's a sensitive issue." So, you know what? We live in a time and you only live life once. And whether you think you're going to be reincarnated or this is your reincarnated life, whatever. The thing is, you're here now. If you have a skill and a gift to do something, use it to your benefit, so it doesn't quite benefit just you, but those around you. You know, you start with yourself, because you can't help nobody else until you help yourself, because nobody's self-sufficient on this planet. You have to have something to get where you're at. Mr. King, you needed a mic so people can hear you.
Without doubt.
You know what I'm saying? We all had to find some kind of platform.
I needed Lee Terry to finish the legislation. I needed the president to sign it. We all, like I say, we all need a collection of others in order to excel, you know, our abilities also.
Exactly. So on this COVID-19, because I've kind of been shying away from a little bit, here's my thing, and people can take it as they want it. You all know it to be true if you follow the good book. Revelation says it right there, that all these things that are going to transpire are going to happen. But it's like you said with the Shakespeare thing. How would they know that those things were going to happen if they didn't put everything, like they always say, it's hidden in plain sight? It's right there, everybody. The book ain't no damn psychic. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The book ain't no psychic. The guy who wrote it, he ain't no psychic. They had a plan already. And where did that plan came from? The guy that's battling God, his rival. And one thing I just want to say on this before we start getting into the COVID thing is that whether his name is the devil, Lucifer, or Satan, God, Yeshua himself, stricken his name from anybody knowing his real name, because he didn't deserve that. So there, the cat's out the bag. Y'all ain't never gonna know his name. Those are just titles. Like my title is Gorilla X. but ain't nobody know my real name. Ain't never going to.
What's your real name?
I'll tell you when I retire off this earth. I got many names, but this one I'm cool with. Um, so the point that I wanted to make was this: if everything you see, look, if I wrote a book right now today and I said, Mr. King, next Saturday, there's going to be a car crash in 84th and Grover. It's in the book. It was written. You're like, man, this guy's nuts. And then next week comes, there's a crash in 84th and Grover. How did that happen? Because I made that happen. I told so-and-so, hey, you drive this into that and da-da-da, and boom, bada bing, it's done.
Right.
So what happens? Because I made it happen because I had the plan. It's set forth.
Right.
It was going to happen. It's like a coach with his team. All right, here's the plan.
We're gonna run this
you
flight.
break left, we go up that way, da-da-da. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's no different with the COVID-19 thing. So now here's the thing. It's fear-mongering. It's a scare tactic, but it's real at the same time too. The virus is real, but the question is, people are like, oh, it's airborne. All right, if it's airborne, let me ask you this. What about all the other viruses before the virus? There was AIDS, Ebola, Zika, the swine flu, the worst one of all, Spanish flu.
And actually, just there's 7 versions of 7 kinds of corona.
Yes, they've mutated it.
There's
7
4
strands.
Yeah, 7 strands right now. 4 are harmless. 4 of the strands of corona are harmless. So
and I believe that
it's been around. It's nothing new.
I believe that. And here's the thing. I myself was a victim of the vaccine flu years ago before I unplugged and woke up and realized, you know what? I never had the flu before I took the vaccine, and I never had it when I got off of it. The only time I got sick was when they put that thing in my arm. So here's the thing. I went to the doctors a few times, and not one doctor could tell me. Like, look, if you go to the grocery store and you look on the back of a product and it says nutrition facts and the ingredients and vitamin A, D, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Where's the ingredients for the vaccines? Oh, no, just go to the CDC website, go to the WHO website, and they'll break it down for you. You can't trust those organizations because those are the very same people that are our enemies. But they're dressed up like allies.
Okay, now so now Trump is mad at the what you call him, and he say he about to pull out because he
HWO.
Yeah, the HWO, because he feel like they are what you said.
And I'm going to tell you something about that.
Okay, now do you like Trump then? Because
here's the thing
because or what do you like about Trump?
Yeah, or what do you like about Trump? That's a great question. Yeah, because I'm a Democrat, but I don't hate him. I like him in a sense because he's been telling the truth. The media has been terrible for Black people.
Yes.
A lot of riots have been started by media lying on Black men.
I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Trump is a rogue president. He is the first rogue president besides maybe Abraham Lincoln and JFK. But he was more rogue than those 2 presidents in the sense, in my opinion. I mean, I never knew those 2 guys. I don't know Trump personally, but my opinion is this. Trump is a guy who does not like to be controlled. And the media, in the minute that you have somebody like the deep state trying to whisper in your ear, listen, we need you to say this. And then he's like, for what?
Yeah.
I'm the president. I don't need to listen to you.
Yeah,
Who are you?
He's like that. He's like that for real.
And they're like, and then the deep state's like this. He's not listening. What are we gonna do? And he's like, try this, try that. After you try so long, they're gonna do to him like they did to Kennedy and Lincoln, like the Simpsons have always predicted their so-called predictions and stuff like that, right? So if all these predictions like the Simpsons come true, who's to say that that's going to actually happen, that Trump might actually be in his casket? You know, sometimes the person that you think is wrong or your enemy might be the right medicine for you, the right remedy, because maybe for some time you thought that this guy was unhinged and a little off his rocker. So be it. You know, sometimes it takes, and here's the thing, Mr. King, this is the thing it's always been a battle. And this goes along with the whole Trump thing, and then we'll, because I really want to finish my point about the COVID-19, is that if you take a figure like Trump, to me, in my opinion, he's good entertainment. He was good entertainment when he was doing his thing in the WWE back in the day, and he's good entertainment when he's in the president. No, the reason why I say good entertainment is because sometimes he might go off on somebody that's appealing to me. I'm like, wow, he put that dude in a position. He put so-and-so in a position.
Right.
He's right about this and that.
Right.
Other times, he's a little off, but that's okay because none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not for the guy and I'm not against him.
Right.
That's the thing. And I will never take sides for Republican or Democrat, because it's like one time Immortal Technique had once said in a song is that trying to think more. He said something like, it was like the Black Panthers at one point divided and became the Bloods and the Crips. You know, the real enemy is seated or infiltrating within certain suits and organizations and groups. And I think the reason why Trump is in the position that he's at is because, he does not want to be controlled, not even by the deep state or anybody who is above him. And that is what's going to cost him his life in the long run. But they need him long enough to do what they need him to do so they can move in and replace him. Because I guarantee the minute he's gone and he disappears while he's serving his term, Pence is going to come up. And nobody wants that pinhead running an office. I mean, this guy is a joke. This guy is in bed with the deep state, just like Joe Biden's in bed with the deep state. And Bush dynasty was in the deep state. I mean, if you do the history, especially on the Bush dynasty, there's nothing glamorous about that family at all. I mean, they've killed a lot of innocent Americans. These guys that we're dealing with are war profiteers. I don't think Trump wants blood on his hands, and that's the problem there. But how do you deal with all these people that have more power than you? And you have to role play a puppet in the office. But the thing is, he's looking at himself like there ain't no strings on me.
Well, I mean, because he's his own man.
He is,
and you know, his father got a different kind of history also. So they all part of that history.
Yeah.
And
you know what I wanted to say about the COVID-19 thing, real quick, is that we still got time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you good?
Okay, so the COVID-19 thing. Here's my take on that. If they tell you a lie long enough to believe it, you will believe it to be true. If I took a group of little kids, I'm like, hey, guess what, guys? I'm Superman. Really? Yeah. I come out of my phone booth, my Superman outfit. Can you fly? I do that all the time. Watch this. But they don't see the Hollywood wires on my back. Go around the corner, or you got some guy dressed up as Spider-Man, but they don't see the things that he's got in his hands. And you know what I'm saying? I've seen people do stuff like that before. So if the kids are there long enough to believe that to be true, that those characters are real, then they'll believe that the coronavirus will eventually be harmful to anybody touching the currency or the coins. So what better plan than to get rid of it altogether and go digital? Once you go digital and there's no currency and no coins, that's the beginning of something that we don't want to experience. People are like, oh man, it's cool. We're going to go digital. All right, that's cool. Next you know, you're going to get microchip right between the thumb and the finger there, right here. Wisconsin already did it. They've already chipped people over there, organization over there. Florida's done it. And all this stuff is being developed in Sweden. The only place that's not in quarantine or ever had a shutdown. Go figure. So with that said, what's funny is that when they change over the currency and it's just going to be completely digital, at what point are they going to do this? Who knows? It could be when the second wave of the corona hits. Or maybe not then. Maybe 10 years from now or 5 years from now, it'll be Corona Part 2 or the remix of the Corona with a different name. Yeah. They're going to come up with something. They always do. And let me tell you this: depopulation has never been better for the elites, because if you look at history, look how many black folks have died at the hands of a non-white person. I mean, non-colored person.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that at the beginning of my over this conversation all wrong, so I apologize. Discrepancy on my part. But the thing is this: a lot of people are like, why are they always killing black folks? Why are they always hurting, harming Latinos and getting rid of natives? Why are they disappearing off the map? You know, a lot of people don't want to speak on it because there's an unspoken secrecy that ties with the bloodline of Jesus. And a lot of people don't want to speak on the fact that whether Jesus had been with Mary Magdalene and had a daughter named Sarah, we don't know that. And so a lot of people saying Jesus is not white. Jesus was a black man. Whatever people want to speculate on that, there will always be some kind of battle of war that ties with the origin history of what started this in the beginning. And a lot of people kept asking me, what's your take on it? And my opinion has always been some of the stuff that I've came across and I found. I mean, you got museums out there that have skulls that extend out to here. And you have skulls from giants that were like 7-8 foot tall. And like, how's that possible? Well, when the fallen angels or what have you made it with female humans, they breeded off what was called Nephilims. And so that was a sin in God's eyes.
Mm.
And so that's when that whole thing came about, when Noah built the ark and decided to wipe out the rest of these Nephilims and whoever was with them. The thing is that stories can change, and maybe that story is not true at all too. What I'm saying is that sounds good enough for me to believe that there's a reason why there's a depopulation movement that's been going on forever. There's a reason why slavery has never disappeared. People be like, oh, there ain't no slavery going on. There's still slavery going on. Why do you think black folks are still locked up in prison? There's more black folks in prison than any other race. That's slavery to me.
Institutionalized slavery.
Yeah. And no matter what, you may not see somebody picking cotton on the field, but you're going to see somebody doing something out there, and it just ain't right.
Mm-hmm. But then in Alabama, they're still picking cotton on a chain gang.
Yeah. And the other thing that really bothers me with the COVID-19 was that recently there was a couple of doctors that came out on record last week. In fact, there was like 9 of them, and out of those 9, there was 2 of them one of them their grandmother and one of them was their mother. The mother had terminal illness. She was in a hospice. And for anybody who doesn't know what a hospice is, it's a place where somebody has a terminal illness. It means you're about to expire off this earth real soon. So when she passed away from what she had a variety of things like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, and this other lady had cancer, terminal cancer. They passed on, but then the social media, the media went up there, and the local media, and then it went big media. Oh, they died from the coronavirus. That shit ain't true. Sorry about that. That ain't true. And then you see a company called Vantage who were building these, who works with FEMA, were building these black containers that were made for the size of a normal human being. Why do they got like thousands and thousands of containers? What are those for? And now I know. I see in New York, when they go out to the Bronx, they go out to the outskirts and they're putting bodies in containers and putting them out there. But they're putting on this. They're saying on record that nobody's come to claim these bodies. Well, maybe there's no bodies in those containers, and maybe there is. But how many times have you ever heard the news media advertise, 500 people died of cancer this week, or 1,000 died last month? You're not going to hear that unless it's somebody like you heard about a spy who got poisoned by Putin, or somebody close to the president. Oh, so-and-so died. Da, da. All right, but there's a lot of people that die, but you don't see them on social media. But the minute the COVID-19 wants to pop off, oh, okay, let's use that as our next gimmick to capitalize on these numbers and add on. It's a scare tactic and fear mongering. So people get so scared, they stay indoors. Why? Because the minute that you're indoors and you're on lockdown, like on the East Coast and the West Coast and the South, because Nebraska is not on lockdown. 10 states or 9 states are not on lockdown. They refuse to be on lockdown. And they don't have to be because they already did what they're doing right now. They're putting up all those 5G towers. You see all these birds, the bees, all these different types of animals are dropping dead. There was a firefighting department where all the firefighters were being disoriented, losing memory, this and that. And what they did was they took down the 5G that was across the road and relocated it and put it in some lady's backyard. Like, well, she's a nobody, so we'll just put it back there. And then she started complaining about how her and her family are having all these different symptoms. So I took it upon myself to drive around the city. I said, let's see if we got any 5Gs. We got one right up the street where I live, right across from McDonald's. And then there's another one that's being built out in Elkhorn. Actually, it's already built in Elkhorn. They're building a new movie theater out there. It's called ACX. So, you know, whether people want to believe it or not, the 5G is just like this new weapon that they're developing that's shooting out low frequency. It's like a microwave weapon. If you live there long enough, it won't take much to see the things that you're going to be experiencing with those symptoms that people already have. And the minute you try to speak on it, it's not good news for the news media. They're just going to shut you down. So you have to go on YouTube. But you got to be careful because anything that you might say, the algorithms will pick up on anything you say. So I've seen a lot of doctors and different whistleblowing scientists. What they're doing is that when they speak on record on YouTube is that they mute what they're saying. They go back to editing. So if I say, be careful, the COVID-19 is dangerous, what you're going to hear, that's my version, the raw version. But when you hear the edited version, you're going to hear, oh, be careful, it's going to be da-da-da. So those algorithms are not being picked up, so they won't take down the video. So they'll put the subtitles, so it's captioned, for anybody to read. There's just so many things to speak on, but it all ties in with the population. Bill Gates is not a doctor, so what the heck is he doing with trying to get involved with the vaccine?
Yeah,
They said he predicted this. He was interviewed,
but he ain't no prophet. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? How can you predict something unless you and a bunch of guys got together in the group, said, all right, listen, the police thing with killing off the black folks was great, but we got to go full force with this. All right, what's your next plan? Virus. Let's do another virus. Roll the dice. Corona. Corona came up. Let's do the corona. Now, I'm not saying the coronavirus is not real. The virus is real. They developed the virus. But the question is it airborne? If it is airborne, okay, not disagreeing with y'all. I'll cover my mouth too. But what about my eyes? Who's say it can come through the holes in my ears or the pores in my skin?
Well, no,
am I going to smell it? Am I going to?
The doctor said that it can't come through the eye, so I don't know if it can float in the eye.
Yeah, your eyes are porous.
Yeah. See,
just like if you cut an onion, your eyes immediately is going to start burning. So it's receiving those fumes from the onion. So yes, absolutely.
So what I'm saying is that, and that's my opinion. Y'all don't have to agree with me, but I will say this. If I have not gotten sick in all these years and I have not taken a vaccine, what does that tell you? God put you on this earth to eat and drink the very things he created for you. You don't need to go out and eat animal based meat and stuff. Go plant-based. You don't have to be a vegan entirely, but you know what? Listen, there was this lady. She had all kinds of problems with her. And she found the remedy to be celery, steamed broccoli, Brussels sprouts, eating a green apple. And in 2 weeks' time, versus the whole year that she'd been taking all these different medicines, she recuperated.
Yeah.
Totally recovered.
Yeah.
She was able to walk normal again without having to use a walker. No more aches and pains or nothing.
Nature's food is healer. It's a healer.
God's medicine.
That's God's. Yeah, that's the remedy, y'all. Don't eat what's in the damn can. Eat what's coming from the ground, and make sure you rinse that in the water. You don't Monsanto Bear.
Okay. Bro, how can we gotta wrap it up? How can people get in contact with you? How can they get your music? Et cetera, et cetera.
The Illuminati banned me, so I can't, I'm just kidding. I got a new album coming out called Walking Like War. And this has been a very difficult album to do. And I've never done an album that's so powerful like this. This was something that I was trying to find my niche to do. And before, I think my last album, Rise to Resist, which came out December 12th on 2012. When I released it, I didn't promote it right, wasn't marketed right. There was a lot of discrepancy with how that album was put out and everything, and I was rushed. So, excuse me. I took my time with this one in a very rapid way because I had so much time available, and I wasn't going to come back into the game. I quietly just disappeared after the last event when we performed at the Boston Arena a couple years ago, whatever. I think it was 2017 in January, and it was me and Prophecy. And so I took it upon myself last summer. I said, you know what? It's time. I got to bring myself back into the fold. There's a lot of things that need to be said, a lot of things that I never got to release, and I had a whole bunch of records. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to work on this album. I'm going to put it out there. But once the album comes out, be on the lookout. It's probably going to be a double album. I know everybody's trying to go the EP route because, short attention span, but that's only because all the other albums that the other rappers were coming out sounded like garbage. Sure. So if y'all got a problem with that, don't worry. I already name dropped you on the album.
Yeah,
you're going to feel the heat.
Your stuff is terrible.
So the album, you'll be able to find it. It'll be, on your normal platforms like iTunes, Spotify, in Google, Amazon, Facebook, Reverb Nation. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to some of the artists that I've worked with and some that are going to be on it. Shout out to Chino XL, Vinny Paz, minus the infamous Dwan Davis, who's cousin of Terrence Crawford, my backup singer, Dwan. He's in the hospital. He should be getting out today. You better get out today. I'm going to have to come over there and kidnap you. Who knows what they're doing to him. Shout out to my mom, my wife, Craig. Is Craig watching?
Yeah, he was watching earlier.
Craig, get your behind back on there. You better be listening, boy. Shout out to everybody, all my mates in Australia.
Yeah. You chime in.
What's up, Craig?
Girl, as keep filling their heads with knowledge, their hearts with love, and their souls with the fear of God. Ralph, my brother.
Yo, if anybody who doesn't know Craig, Craig's a Hollywood actor. He was in the middle of production of filming Marvel's Shang-Chi this past January, going into February, and then this Corona thing just prevented them to complete the production. And then he's also got casted for Thor 4, Love and Thunder. He's also in the movie Gods of Egypt and some other movies. You also check him out. Check him out, Craig Bork. Shout out to Immortal Technique. Shout out to Chino XL, minus the infamous Galvanized Tron, Dwan Davis, Prophecy, who's coming in here next week, Septari, Corey Stone, Danny Che, Jay Keys, Justin Black, Jazzy, who came in a couple weeks ago. We just dropped 2 records we're working on and stuff. Who else? Oh my God, I can't forget them. Yo, The Gas Station. Love you guys. Pocket Pete, man, you got to get your verse on that song. We all did our verses, bro. Where you at, man? Man, that brother can spit fire, man. I love that dude.
Good, man. Hey, you got some my man Craig was got your back out here. He's my mate. He's speaking the truth. All right, without a doubt. Australia's in the house. Omaha, Nebraska. Man, we appreciate you coming in. You always welcome back. When the album drop, let us know.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Get you in the mix.
I'll be back here next week on Monday and Tuesday with y'all with the team.
Yep.
Okay.
Can't wait. Wow, I want to thank you guys for bringing me on and stuff. I always watch you guys' show when I can and stuff, and I love what you guys do, and I love the guests that you guys bring. And keep going strong, keep doing what you're doing. And I apologize if I slipped up on that word earlier.
Oh no, that's all right.
It happens.
I love it when people correct me because then I have to fix myself and get myself together. I'm like, all right, guys,
Nebraska. Martine, any part of words?
Oh, Relax, are you working on anything new? Are you acting? I understand you're actor and film director and screenwriter.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but I want to say it now. We're gonna be working on a movie short film called The Infinity Mic, and that's all I'm gonna say about that particular project because that says it all right there. It's gonna be very powerful. I got Chino Excel who's gonna be in it, minus the infamous. And a bunch of other cats that I'm gonna have casting for that. Also got a bunch of music videos. Gonna be working with my man Dewey up north. Dewey,
Okay.
if y'all want a hip hop video, man, come check out Dewey. Hit him up, Dewey Cox. Who else? Who else am I forgetting, man? Billy Carper, the Enforcer, Bamboozle, bringing him. Bam, Savage P Entertainment. Shout out to anybody that I haven't name dropped on here, and shout out to those who got a problem with me.
Well, we do appreciate you coming in, Gorilla X, Omaha, Nebraska. We've been bossing with Gorilla X.
Word up.
And he will be back in next week, so make sure you keep it locked in here, 95.7 The Boss during the Boss Morning Show. It is now 9:13 a.m.
Love y'all.
All right, we out here in Omaha. Boss with us.
Boss with us.
Boss.
Woo, love you.
All right, nice.
Sounds good.
It's just a public service announcement.
Are you tired of hearing about the coronavirus? Well, it's real.
I'm telling you, it's real. Here's what I want you all to do for me. Check this out, man.
Don't panic. If you're sick, stay home.
Stay away from me if you're contagious.
Stay at least 6 feet away from others.
The most dangerous disease.
Coronavirus.
Wash your hands frequently and practice good hygiene.
Stand and show these people what time it is, boy.
We can stop the spread of the virus.
Coronavirus. Cover your mouth. Say it. You're contagious.
So stay home, stop the spread, save lives. Most importantly, let's check on our elderly.
Word up. You ain't going out like this.
We're here to keep you informed.
Coronavirus. Just get it real.
Don't believe the hype.
In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.
Don't believe the hype.
You may have received the 2020 census form in the mail. It's important to fill it out. It ensures proper funding for public schools, healthcare clinics, and so much more. If you have any questions about completing the census form, members from our community will be in your neighborhood to help. And to make sure you understand your census information is safe, confidential, and important. Like you, we're part of the community. For information, visit nebraskacounts.org. Paid for by Civic Nebraska.
It's just a public service announcement.
Are you tired of hearing about the coronavirus?
Coronavirus.
Well, it's real.
I'm telling you, it's real. Here's what I want you all to do for me. Check this out, man.
Don't panic. If you're sick, stay home.
Stay away from me if you're contagious.
Stay at least 6 feet away from others.
The most dangerous disease.
Coronavirus.
Wash your hands frequently and practice good hygiene.
Stand and show these people what time it is, boy.
We can stop the spread of the virus.
Coronavirus. Cover your mouth. Say it. You're contagious.
So stay home, stop the spread, save lives. Most importantly, let's check on our elderly.
Word up. You ain't going out like this.
We're here to keep you informed.
Coronavirus. Just get it real.
Don't believe the hype.
In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.
Don't believe the hype.
You may have received the 2020 census form in the mail. It's important to fill it out. It ensures proper funding for public schools, healthcare clinics, and so much more. If you have any questions about completing the census form, members from our community will be in your neighborhood to help. And to make sure you understand your census information is safe, confidential, and important. Like you, we're part of the community. For information, visit nebraskacounts.org. Paid for by Civic Nebraska.
It's just different.
Cause forever doesn't seem long enough. Feels like forever every day. We can take our time, but we don't have to rush. We can turn up on a wedding day. I can't wait to give you all this wedding cake. When you're ready, put it all on me. Time is finally on its way. Forever doesn't seem long enough. Feels like forever every day with you. We can take our time, but we don't have to rush. Let's talk about us. I'm tired of guessing my blessings. I know you don't want the mirrors of yourself, but you cannot trust. Some people wait their whole lives, so it's kind of love. It's kind Are you ready to be happy, babe? Cause forever doesn't seem long enough. Feels like forever every day. Are you ready to be happy, babe? We can take our time, boy, we don't have to rush. Baby, imagine this, you and me five. We can grow all together. I'll be by your side. Baby, close your eyes. Can you picture us forever? Till you came, don't think I ever felt a love that ever treated me so well. Spent my whole life chasing fairy tales. Can't imagine this with no one else.